students like myself, because I can't stop staring at the magazine in front of me, and it says, "The future depends on the steps we take today." What would you advise us as young students on the steps that we should take in order to take part in the sustainability and the renewable energy that is developing in our country?
What about you? You start.
I would like to echo what has been said earlier, is that follow your heart, see what you like, and be passionate about it. I feel that for specifically UAE women, it is a national duty for them to come forward and foreseen to be agents of change and contribute to the development of our young nation.
Evelyn, one thing you were saying to me was that you will answer this. I was going to follow up on that question.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. Try at the beginning to have a broad area of projects so that you start to know how do you feel for what you have a passion for, and then balance again what you want to, which is very personal. So for me, diversity, all those things, is a very personal choice. But if you want to raise it to the top, and I'm only talking about what I know, which is the CEO of the street, you have to take leadership roles as early as possible in your career. That is very, very, very important. And that really draws the line between, and you can do fantastic careers, and have a wonderful life, professional life, but if you want to reach to the very top, you have to learn how to lead very early on. This is something which is very important.
That's a good bit of advice, and that was pretty much the answer I was hoping to elicit from the question, because I know that you, as well as recruiting top leaders, you also help develop the careers of people a little further down their career path.
Yes, we do a lot of programs to mentor and to help them develop. In my own life, personal life, I just founded networks, and I founded events like this event, and I think it's very important to share stories. Also, what is very important is networking. Networking is absolutely key. And this is what we are doing today. It's a very good story. Every time when you have a good story, when you hear that somebody tells you that what has happened, that has a wonderful power and impact in terms of community, because we can put a lot of diversity projects, a lot of things, diversity policies, but the main thing is to share the stories, the good and the bad, and that is very important. So do network in your own community, do reach out. That is key and crucial for us to move forward. And when I say this, I'm not saying women only. I'm saying we have to be bilingual, women and men sharing this. It's very important.
Another question? There's one here from Opportunities from my man.
Hello, Zachary Shahan from CleanTechnica. Can you hear me?
Yeah, mic's working.
Okay, this is Zachary Shahan from CleanTechnica.com, the most popular clean tech website in the world, and we have about a much larger proportion of our readers are male. We have about 1/3 of the readership is working in a clean tech industry, and the other 2/3 are just people passionate about clean technology, global warming action. So I've wondered, it's not our framing, I guarantee you, I have a sociology background, I'm very careful about my framing, but I've wondered, and I wonder if you can provide some insight on why even there's that much greater interest across the male population in clean technology.
What do you think? Do you have a view on that?
Well, I think it goes back to societies and how we raise our children. Many times this starts from the families, where there is a differentiation between how men and how boys and girls are being grown up. And the toys that we select to give to kids at early ages, girls are always given dolls, boys are given cars, and how we sort of embed these kind of given things towards them. So we are creating right from home and from infancy the gender differentiation between boys and girls and what role in society they need to take. Taking that into the area of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, and going to schools, we see that there is more emphasis on boys to get into STEM areas compared to girls. Even family perspective and society perspective, when we see that people are more engaged in kids' engagement in STEM areas, especially boys, we say good for you, but when girls are engaged in something that is outside the STEM, we look at it differently. We look at it in a way that these are areas for girls and these are areas for boys. So I think what I'm trying to say is that it goes back to the society and the perspective that we give right from day one about boys and girls' roles in society. Taking that, and as much as we try to bring them together and making it equal kind of platform that both need to do, we see that the pipeline of girls getting into STEM from schools and then to careers is even dropping. And there are a lot of studies that looks at reasons behind that and what tools we can do towards increasing the pipeline. In my opinion, I think that it goes back to societies, and each society should know its own opportunities against the gaps and the challenges ahead of them, and works towards creating that platform, that wide platform, that as much as we need to have boys in these areas, we equally need women and girls in these areas.
Do you have a comment to make on that, on people's, on why women may be more drawn to one sector rather than another? Do you have female clients who say to you, you know, I just don't fancy working in that field, you know, it's not the kind of thing which I might be drawn to?
Yeah, some industries, I think clean tech has a positive reputation compared to energy, which has quite a bad reputation because...
Why is that? Because it's seen as a, you know, mining, you said. I mean, that's seen as a dirty job done by member muscles.
That's part of it, and also I think the young generation, I want to talk about the millennials, because it's very important. You know, what we are trying to design as a new world is just taking into consideration their aspirations. There's a clear sense of purpose, and they need that. And the second thing is that reputation for them is very important. When they choose and select their first job and the companies they want to work in, reputation is key. It's key.
Okay. Another question, perhaps? There's one there, there's a hand up on the way back. Here comes the microphone.
Hello, I'm Abigail Herron from Aviva Investors in the UK. I'm heavily involved in the 30% Club, which is all about getting 30% of women on the boards of UK PLC and beyond. And I wondered, what do the panel think the best companies are doing to attract and retain female talent?
I'll do that.
They are doing many things. There is no one single word. So this is, you know, it's a combination of many things, ranging from really creating the environment, doing a lot of mentoring, having their own networks within the company, making sure that, you know, on each succession plan, it's not allowed to have men only. There should be women. I once met and we worked with Christine Lagarde, and she said to us, look, I just, on this list for this assignment, I want only women. That was something. It was very bold. And nothing we should do with that.
So picking up on a question that I was asking to the previous panel, you would back that panel from the back?
Yes. I belong to, in France, I've been working on diversity and since dating back to 1999. At that time, when I started talking about with senior women, they said, we don't want to hear about this, you know, what are you doing to us? And then I started discussing with younger women, and they said, yes, we need that, it's messy. So back to the question on quotas, there's been a lot of debate, but I've been part of this. And I understand it's not the best thing, because you don't want to be there just because there is a quota. We had a lot of debates, but I was part of this. And now you can see that, you know, this has improved. And finally, why is it important to the board to have women? Because when you have women in the board, they ask different questions. And back to sustainability, it's very fascinating to see that the women in the board are the ones who ask those questions back. And what is the company doing about corporate social responsibility? What is the policy you're putting in place in human resources? Those are the questions they ask. So I think it's very important. And the last thing, don't have just one, because it's been proven that, you know, in any group, if you have 30% of one group, then it has an impact. Less than 30% has no impact. So yes, this is why we have quotas in France, which is 40% of women in boards by the end of the year 2017.
So is that a good intention, or is there a law?
It's a law behind, but it's not enough, because if those women join the boards, don't do something about pipeline, and don't do something back to the questions about what are the policies in place, what is the environment to create for that, then that will not happen. So the next battle, the next generation is that having 25% CEOs who are female CEOs. That would be something.
Do you have contacts with companies in your institute, and you must see some of your former students going on? What about that question about what companies do to attract and retain female talent?
Something that I am confident of, that when industries or companies invest in women and women are part of their boardrooms, they make wiser decisions, and it brings stability, and it is definitely much more of a return on investment kind of a thing. And this has been also proven by a lot of studies that when women are in those boardrooms, industries do much better than without them.
Okay. Another question.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Khaled Mihri. I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Corporate Communications and Electricity and Water Authority. First of all, I would like to thank WiSER for organizing such a platform for women to showcase their achievements and their interests, given the support we're getting from the government, especially in sustainability and renewable energy. I'm very much interested in women as a whole, and it's been a pleasure working with many female colleagues in my organization as well as outside. I just wanted to touch base on what has been discussed about women quotas in general. Well, I'm proud to say that His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE, had released or issued an announcement, I think, a year back, saying that we should have a woman on each board. And that's not because that we have been working in silos from our main colleagues, but we've been part of this sustainability agenda. Today, if you look at the figures of the education sector, you could see that we have more than 71% of our high education graduates are women. And more than 66% are actually working in the government sector. And almost 17.5% in the federal government today in the Federal National Council. And I'm proud to say that women has played a great role in sustainability. We have saved Dubai. People who have been working on the sustainability agenda and the conservation efforts in Dubai are led by a woman. And they're 90%. They are 90% of the team who have saved Dubai 66 million dirhams over the years, and more than 1,000 gigawatt in electricity, water, and 4.9 billion gallons in water. So women has been a key partner in this area, and I'm proud to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.